This episode is brought to you by Cartamax. Life on the front line requires you step up your game. Owned and operated by former Navy SEAL Sean Matson, Cartamax has designed just the right supplements for you and is offering American Party an exclusive offer. Buy one, get one free in your first order. Go to Cartamax.com and use the promo code American. That's Cartamax.com, helping you achieve your max. We were talking about docking.
Dude, you've never docked?
No.
We are such a liar.
What we were actually talking about was,
Whatever.
Well, we were talking about that a little bit, but we were talking about using cell phones on planes.
Yeah.
And how they use entirely different modalities and wavelengths. So it's impossible for the two to interfere with one another. So whenever they tell you that shit,
Stupid.
it's just it's a form of control based on ignorance, which is mostly what we deal with in modern society, right? Like some asshole gets somebody in power afraid, or they get people afraid, and then the asshole in power decides to use their own fear.
It's the what ifs.
Or to
Well, what if it did?
yeah, which is stupid. I mean, it's like
So stupid.
It's like Billy Madison.
How many times do we pay? Look how much money we spend on insurance. How many times do we pay or worry about shit that has never happened?
Mostly all the time, yeah.
That's what we were just talking about that too, about JP. Like, he just made this, if JP Sears, go over, his content's so badass. He just made this video.
Yeah, go look at his latest video on Instagram. It's really good.
Right? It's,
I mean, all of his stuff is typically pretty good, but this one is exceptional.
This last one is about, it's about fear. It's about how we should all live in fear, and it's freeing, and it's really a badass video.
Look, if you're not living in fear, you better be worried, because,
yeah,
you know, fear is a good thing.
Are you living in fear?
No. I'm not afraid of anything because I don't care what happens to me, right? Mm-hmm. So there we go.
I care what happens to you.
That's cute, but that's not me. That's you caring.
Do you think, like, when we die, that if, like, let's say I'll probably go first because I try to live healthier than you, so you're definitely going to die after me.
You think that, but
so
counterintuitive.
Let me ask you this: would you care if can we be buried in the same casket?
Well, I mean, I was planning on getting cremated, but sure, I don't care. I mean, I've said this a million times before. When I die, I throw my body in the trash because a dead body is basically garbage, right?
Yeah.
It's weird to me how we memorialize the physical body, but we cherish the memory, the non-physical.
Yeah.
So who cares about the fucking physical body?
Well, I mean,
I've seen too many of them get chewed up.
Your physical body is a masterpiece,
nice, yeah.
though.
But I've seen too many physical bodies get chewed up that I know that it's just a fucking meat sack. Who cares?
It is.
That's not who you are.
But your body's who you are to me, because that's really all I care about with you is your body. I don't care about your soul or your brain.
Your body's telling you yes?
Yeah.
Is that how that song goes?
But my mind keeps telling me no.
Yeah.
Dan, it's always so great to see you. I just want you to know. And I got to tell you, just because I seen this earlier, probably the best news I've heard all day is that Liz Cheney is fucking out.
Yeah, I don't know why. This has all been pretty weird.
Like, why?
The left is trying to hold her up as some kind of fucking displaced hero, while if they had the opportunity 10 years ago, they probably would have sent her father to prison forever.
Yeah.
Right. And they would have been right to do that, by the way. Dick Cheney is one of the biggest pieces of shit in all of American politics history. And I don't know. This is more tribalism. It doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what the other side believes, so you can hate that.
Yeah.
That's all that matters anymore. Nobody's got any principles. Nobody says, well, actually, I believe this, and what you're saying is wrong, and here's why. They're like, well, they believe that, so fuck them. Well, I believe this now.
Well, because, like, when you base shit on principles and not on emotions, I mean, you have to take a chance.
That's my beard rubbing up against the fucking microphone, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
Wow. I don't know if that's a flex or...
Wow, I can grow a beard. Wow, way to fucking rub it in my face.
Well...
Or on the mic, I mean.
Yeah. You should probably look into it.
Yeah, I would, but my computer just now shut down and said it's going to update for the next 24 minutes.
Oh, great. Sweet. Well, that computer's from like 1960, so maybe, get a new one. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. I can tell from the plug that it's at least from 2015.
What do you mean? This plug is a brand new plug.
No, that's not a brand new plug.
It is.
Nope.
It's got the... Are you kidding me? It's got the charging port.
No, that's like a
magnetic.
6-pin magnetic charger from fucking 2015, right, Giorgio? Or 2016 is the last one they made? I think it was actually 20ficteen is the last one.
It's magnetized.
Yeah.
You kidding me? Watch this.
Electricity and magnetism are the same thing, my man.
Watch this. Oh, look at that shit.
Oh yeah, I know how it operates.
How
Yeah.
cool is that?
I know how it operates.
Yeah. Well, you're just fucking pissed you ain't got one.
No, not. Let's see.
You don't. I mean, what's the difference in mine and yours? I mean, mine's bigger. That's it?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking shit over?
And it charges faster and more efficiently.
Okay. Well, I did have a computer one time.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That happens.
Yeah. Anyways.
Did it get taxed?
What happened to it, Dan?
Jacob Nichols says Dakota computers last longer because he doesn't look at porn. Well, that's not true.
I don't look at porn.
Yeah, you do.
I can tell you right now, 1,000,000%, I couldn't tell you the last time I've even looked at porn.
Well, I don't believe you.
I mean, you can just look through my shit.
I don't need to. I can look into your soul, bitch, and I can tell that you're fucking lying.
I don't look at porn.
Yeah.
I think it's it's the weirdest shit ever to
What do
watch.
you mean weirdest?
Other people
I'll
fuck.
watch anybody fuck anybody else for any reason at any time.
Like,
That's going to be on my fucking tombstone.
about the closest thing to porn that I watch is I watch The World and people walk around and fuck each other all day long.
Yeah, but not enough in public.
I mean, not having sex, but just through like who wants to watch other people have sex?
Is this a fucking joke? Can we get him out of here? Everybody watches it. Are you kidding me?
Dude, I'd rather watch fucking puzzles but be put together.
Well, you have that opportunity.
Porn is whatever gives you an erection.
Oh, wow.
So if it's puzzles,
Yeah.
So, that's a real...
Yeah, you're trying to take some moralistic approach to this, but it's really not about that. It's mostly about getting hard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
It's so fucking weird people watch porn.
get hard. No, it's not. It's normal. Some of the oldest paintings that we have as a species are fucking pictures of big titty chicks on cave walls.
So how are you going to fucking how are you going to compare this?
Compare what to what?
So you think that that's just like they used to just beat off to that in the cave? They get in the fucking cave and lay in the dirt.
I think
fucking beat off to some.
I like to think of this scenario where a caveman comes back from hunting for the day, and his cave wife has found a picture on a piece of rock or something under his rock mattress and his rock pillows. I guess I think they all just slept on rocks.
I mean, I just don't know how.
And she's like, "Who the fuck is this?" And he goes, "Oh, she's just a friend. Like, we don't know anybody else. We're the only two people here.
Yeah.
Where'd you get this fucking picture?" And it turns out he's been going to town this whole time.
Cheating.
It's like The Village, right? That fucking M. Night Shyamalan movie where they just keep people in that weird little fucking settlement.
So fucking weird. Like, so weird. It's like such a concept I don't understand.
I feel like this is probably what happened. You ever have those that you get really high and then you're like, this is what happened.
High on what, life?
No, drugs.
It's fucking, that's a real dark road.
Live from the meat room.
Yeah.
Robert Winsman says you guys are crazy. Dude, this is like a fucking average conversation on CQ. You need to go fucking join the military and spend 24 hours of duty with the same three assholes.
Yeah.
Right? For 24 straight hours.
I mean, you get some weird shit.
Yeah, you have to. You talk about the best ways to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like weird shit you would do to whom. The would you rather game gets real dark.
Would you rather? Or you can, do you ever play the game like if you got diagnosed with cancer and you had 30 days to live, what would you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the answers for that are usually pretty much the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Rampage.
Rampage.
Yeah, most dudes in the military would just go fucking straight up rampage.
Yeah. So cool, man.
Yeah.
You're my hero. We got a really badass show today.
This show is going to be
definitely something I'm pretty passionate about.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, we're talking about I like that. We're talking about human trafficking. Ethan Benton, how can you get a Drinker Bros shaker? This is an ice shaker made by our dear friend Chris Gronkowski. And we got it because we were doing a deal with him and Sean for Cartamax, which we'll be talking about the immunity booster here in a little bit. And that's actually what's in here right now.
That's why I don't get fucking sick. And that's why I didn't get COVID either.
I don't know about all that, but it's certainly the immunity booster. If you're taking zinc a lot and magnesium a lot, you're going to get sick a lot less.
Nah, man.
That's just reality.
I give Sean the credit for me not getting fucking COVID.
Well, I've got it, so maybe I'm going to blame him for giving me COVID.
No,
I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Well, we're going to make these with the Drinker Bros logo on them soon. As soon as the store's back up this week sometime, probably today or tomorrow. And then we'll start adding more shit to it, cups, mugs, etc. So we'll get there. Anyways, we're talking about human trafficking today. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, or if you follow James Klug, or if you've paid any kind of attention over the last couple of months, you will have noticed these assholes in airports, these illegal immigrants. Hey, go ahead and pull up my Instagram over there, by the way, and find that post I made with that dude's face in it. So we found these pretty routinely, these illegal immigrants in airports with no ID, and they've got the same manila packet that on one side says, "I don't speak English, please help me," whatever the fuck, and on the other side it has their flight information. And basically what it is CBP is turning these people over to somebody, and somebody's getting them on flights and sending them out into the country with no court date, nothing, right?
And how would you get them to show back up anyways?
Right. Well,
They're
I mean,
not fucking citizens.
Typically, this is part of the old catch and release program where they would stop somebody at the border and document them. If they had not been deported before, catch and release. They release them, give them a court date, show back up. Rarely do they show back up. Now they're not even giving them court dates. They're just getting sent off into the wild, and it's children as well. So you want to pull that picture up, please?
1 second. My computer is so close to being back.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, man.
Are you?
So, yeah, I mean, you've seen these on James Klug's page a number of times. We had him on the show about 2 months ago, I think, and we posted some of the images up there. It's always the same looking thing. Now, when we were in the airport in Dallas, coming back from...
The guy also looked like he was tactical.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Definitely a contractor.
Yeah, he's wearing a fucking, like, a brown military undershirt and shorts. Like, yeah, dude, you're really fucking incognitus over there. I found Constitution bands you need. Well, fucking send them to me. You know where I live.
I know where you live.
What did you do with that guy you found in the airport? Well, we're getting to that, Jake. Why don't you fucking calm down and watch the goddamn show? You're not even from State Farm. You're a poser. Telling everybody. Anyways, these guys can't figure out technology over here. But anyways.
Instagram's interface online is awful.
Yeah, it sucks. So, yeah, these guys are fucking wearing skivvy shirts, walking around. This is the first time I've seen this, and this is the first documented case of this I've seen, where an American who's clearly either a federal employee or a government contractor is escorting these people. He was holding the fucking thing. So if it would be great if I could see one of the monitors, but... Okay, it's up there now. So can you zoom in on the thing that's in his hand right there? Because you guys have seen that exact thing before, right? Now, this is a white American, and he's got an anklet on, which is nice. But you can tell from the picture here that that's a skivvy shirt. That's a fucking multicam fucking undershirt. So he's served relatively recently within the last 5 years. And... wearing the fucking cool guy shoes.
Is that an anklet or a tattoo?
It was an anklet. I saw it. I wanted to zoom in on it further in
oh yeah.
when I was taking a picture, but instead I got right up in his face. You want to show the picture of his face there? I just walked up and stood about a foot away from his face and took a picture. It's the first one.
His watch turned inside.
Yeah, he's got the snipers. Fucking Sunto, yeah.
You never know if there's a sniper.
Yeah.
Never fucking know. Oh, look at that guy.
So a lot of people wrote in about this, trying to help find who it was. I didn't get a specific ID on this person, but what I did get was actually way, way, way more troubling. Way more troubling. And that is a government contracting agency called MVM Incorporated.
Who owns that company?
That's a good question. We're going to get to that. But here's what we know. This company's been used for a long time to do this style of work. That is escorting people around the country, providing private security. It was founded by 3 former U.S. Secret Service members, one whose name was redacted, one Dario Marquez Jr., and then Charles Vance, who was the son-in-law of Gerald Ford, right? This is all, it's typical government incestuous bullshit. Mm-hmm. If you've read America's 60 Families, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so the current CEO is the son of Dario, Kevin Marquez. He took over in 2015 after his dad stepped down. Their headquarters is in Ashburn, Virginia, and their services include the following: physical security and access control, secure transportation, fleet and logistics management, complex travel management, and transportation and care for vulnerable populations. I'm going to read that one again. Transportation and care for vulnerable populations. Now, right now, MVM holds contracts with the Justice Department, with ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, with the State Department, U.S. Marshals, the FBI, and D.C. public school systems. Their 2020 revenue to date so far this year is $146 million. Just in 2021.
It's crazy.
We're not halfway through the year yet. So they're about a $300 million per year company, which makes them about a $1.5 billion industry, right? That's what their valuation would be. Notable contracts that they've had in 2003, and I'm going to explain why all this is relevant soon, so just pay attention. In 2003, MVM was awarded contracts by the U.S. Army and U.S. Justice Department to protect CIA and NSA personnel working in Iraq, right? Now, this is the same thing that the GRS and other organizations do. GRS were the guys at Benghazi, if you're familiar with that, protecting NSA and State Department assets. During their time under contract in Iraq, MVM employees were accused of indiscriminately firing into an Iraqi neighborhood. Dave Boone, former MVM employee and 20-year Green Beret veteran, accused the company of firing him after he refused to help cover up the incident.
Wow.
So it's another Blackwater, basically.
It is.
But with a slightly different mission. And it does call into question if these other private security contractors are taking these jobs as well. Now, we know that a lot of the PSCs and PMCs are amoral at best, right? If not completely immoral. In 2018, MVM was awarded a contract by the FBI for its high-value detainee interrogation group, right? So MVM posted a job opening for a quote-unquote principal scientist with a PhD or master's degree in psychology or closely related technical field. According to the Defense Department interrogation expert, MVM contractors would only be used to assist with research and would not be deployed to the field for interrogations. Now, if you believe that, I've got some land to sell you.
So specific, I'm looking at their website right now, right? Mm-hmm. Specific mission solutions that we offer include transportation and care for vulnerable populations.
Right. What the fuck do you think that means?
Yeah. Oh, shit.
So let's get some more detail on these guys. So here are some of the ICE contracts they've had over the past couple of years. Since 2014, MVM's held several contracts with ICE. Again, that's ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They are the enforcement arm, I guess, of the immigration system, right? Where CBP would be the border part, ICE would be the part that deports people. They have ERO and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So since 2014, MVM has held contracts with ICE for the purposes of transporting unaccompanied alien children. In September of 14, they got a $20.3 million contract, 15, a $48.8 million contract, 16, a $51.2 million contract, 17, $84.1 million contract, and then in 2018, they got a 5-year contract worth $185 million.
I guess there's a lot of money in.
Yeah, to move fucking illegal immigrant children around, right? This reeks of the Catholic Church with their fucking bullshit moving people around to avoid prosecution. And I don't mean the Catholic Church involved in this. I'm talking about raping children. which they also did. If you think I went too far by saying that, maybe they went too far by raping children and then covering it up. Anyways, MVM has posted job openings for bilingual youth travel care workers at least once in 2018, and now they've done it again. You want to go ahead and pull that up?
What's up?
Okay. So, as you can see, these motherfuckers. Is this this is the travel youth care worker? Hold on, let me pull this up on my. All right, great. Now they have these job postings in Houston, San Diego, fucking San Antonio. No, never too far away from the border, oddly enough. Right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and scroll down to the main body of this thing. And then click read more and go down. There's some stuff in here I want you to see. All right, key functions. Key functions you will perform. Accompany minors on domestic flights and or ground transportation to be reunified with their guardians. Right? Now go back to that picture of me. Or not of me, but from me, and click that. You see that woman right there? That's not a fucking youth.
No.
That is a grown-ass woman. Then there was another one standing there with her. That woman's probably in her mid-30s. The other woman was in her fucking late 20s at least. And they had 3 children with them. Click the right arrow button. I think it only shows more of this asshole. I don't know if I caught any more of the actual people now. So, provide minors with meals and any other items which may be needed for travel. Communicate with children and teens in a way that is culturally sensitive and fosters a safe and comfortable environment. Able to work at least 3 12-hour shifts in a week.
Did the guy say anything to you when you got that close to him?
No, he didn't say fucking shit because he knows what he's doing is fucked up, right? I mean, if somebody walked up in an airport and got in my face and took a picture of me, I'd have something to say about it.
Yeah.
But when you're guilty, what can you say?
True.
Be honest, act with integrity, and keep the conversation focused on helping and nurturing the children.
Wow.
I mean, that's some of the stuff. So what will you need to have? And this is really important to focus on because one of the things you don't need to have is a fucking passport. So what you need to have, high school diploma or with 1 or more years of relevant work experience. I don't know what relevant work experience would be for trafficking children, but a valid driver's license, willingness to be based wherever the fuck, and the ability to travel, including overnight, blah, 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 weekends, holidays. No mention of needing a passport, right? Which means these aren't ERO contractors. They're not fucking deporting people. They're not taking people back to their fucking, back to their parents in Mexico or Guatemala or Nicaragua or any of those places. These unaccompanied children that are coming across the border are being reunited somewhere with their fucking families who also crossed illegally. And then this company, MVM, using government money, is transporting them and dropping them off in random locations throughout the United States.
It's fucking nuts.
Seems like something we should probably be paying attention to.
Yeah. So basically what we've done is how long's Biden been in office?
This didn't start under Biden. I mean, the biggest contract they've gotten so far was from Donald goddamn Trump on September 20th, 2018.
Yeah.
So Biden's been in office, and this has certainly gotten worse.
But here's what's kind of interesting is a lot of these contracts are 1x5s, right, or 1x4s. So basically, it's renewed every year, right? And
well, this was a new contract in 2018.
But I wonder how much of that money was actually spent because it could be a contract that's on hand, right? But it doesn't mean like the jobs could be bid out under it, right? So it could basically be a base contract of up to this much money. They can allocate it, but then they put out bids under that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know about that. But
what we don't know is how much money was actually spent of that $185 million.
Well, I mean, we know that before all this stuff started a couple of years ago, we figured, and when I say a couple of years ago, I mean like 20.
But look where they got hired under.
2013, 14, 15. There were about 12 million illegal immigrants in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would expect there's probably about 18, if I had to guess, just based on the trafficking stuff we're seeing.
And what we don't know is like that contract, like you also don't know how much, like I said, how much of it was used. But look in 14, 15, 16, 17, that's where it started.
Right. Yeah. Correct. So the opening, as you could see from that doc we had up a second ago, is a project. It's projects-based, escorting children and teenagers from McAllen, Texas, El Paso, Texas, San Antonio, San Diego. They're in Houston. They're all over. And they take them to quote-unquote shelters to be reunited with their family members across the country. Now, keep in mind, if these people were here legally, right? If the people who they're being reunited with, their guardians, were here legally, then they wouldn't need to fucking sneak into the country. You could fill out documentation like N600s and things like that to get your ass in.
I mean, what about the ones who don't have any family here? Like, how do they find it?
They drop them off in random locations is what's happening. And I would guess the shelters are probably being run nonprofit by Catholic churches around because they've been complicit in assisting in illegal immigration for decades now. Once in MVM custody, the children are taken to shelters as far away as New York and Detroit. I'm looking through James Klug's stuff here to find the.
I wonder how many of these kids will go into sex trafficking.
I mean, that's what happens, right? So kids in inner cities that don't have other options or don't have, parents involved in their lives on a day-to-day basis, they get taken advantage of pretty regularly, right? That's just kind of how that works. They're vulnerable people. It's like prostitutes get murdered a lot because nobody really cares, right? And they can't exactly go to the police because they're out there committing crimes on a regular basis. So if you remember when James Klug was on the show, that piece of paper that you can see that guy's holding in my Instagram post there, on the other side of it are a list of flights. Now, we've seen examples of Detroit, New York City, New Jersey, Boston. We've seen all these, right? And when I saw it in person, I was a little taken back about how little regard these people give to getting caught. Yeah. They clearly do not care if they get caught or not because they know there's not going to, they know nothing will happen.
They're hired by the government.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like us going over, were you ever worried in Iraq or Afghanistan about getting charged with murder?
Well,
I mean, but
sometimes,
but realistically,
no.
There you go. Or trespassing?
Definitely not trespassing.
Okay. Why? Because we were paid by the government.
Yeah. The bill's going to come due on this at some point, but let's get further into who MVM is. So their contract legality and controversy. An investigation from July 2017 found that MVM were using unlicensed shelters, such as vacant office buildings, to house unaccompanied minors in Phoenix. People were dying, right? People were getting raped, as happens, right? When you fucking have situations like that. Arizona State Senator Steve Farley said in 2018, quote, "They've done it without any licensing, obviously, because there's nothing legal about doing this. You don't take kids without a license in Arizona." Well, apparently you do, as long as it's subsidized by the federal fucking government.
Yep.
The federal government of the United States is paying millions of dollars.
But the states could stop it.
The states could stop it, but they're not doing it.
The fucking states could stop it.
But the federal government, let's worry about how to stop it after we elucidate the problem. The federal government of the United States is paying private contractors to traffic children.
Yeah.
To traffic illegal children and hook them up with other people who are also here illegally. This is one of the craziest things I've ever fucking heard in my life. And I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it and done the research myself. I would not have believed this. While in custody of the MVM, children were held in unlicensed facilities and forced to bathe in sinks, right? That shit you saw down at the border in cages wrapped up like little fucking burritos. Nothing compared to what they're experiencing on the road. So MVM afterwards blamed, quote, the increased number of families and children needing escorts for creating, quote, unanticipated strains on travel logistics. Meaning, because we couldn't fucking do our jobs, these people have to suffer, right? Yeah. So it's not just about the fact that they're breaking all these federal laws.
Yeah, and
it's also about they're creating a scenario where people get taken advantage of and where they suffer.
And it's like, either secure the border so nobody can come across, or have a fucking plan to do something humanely with these people that are coming across. And they don't have either one of those figured out. Like, neither one is happening.
And it's, how weird is it? There's 465 people in here right now. I'm guessing for most of you, this is the first time you've ever heard of this organization or any of this stuff happening. How big of a fucking problem is that? So you're hearing it from a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
From two dudes that served in the military. And not the fucking quote-unquote media. I mean, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. To be honest, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. By the way, back to that Catholic thing, and I'm bringing that up because it's gonna be the same thing. The Catholic Church moved priests around. They used money to move priests around to avoid prosecution for raping children, and the United States government did nothing about it. They did nothing. Not only do Catholics, not only does the Catholic Church own more land than any other private organization, right? In the U.S., they own more. Like Bill Gates is a close second, I believe. So it's the federal government, then the Catholic Church, then Bill Gates. That are landowners, yeah. The guy who ran the program, if you're wondering what the Catholic Church's fucking stance on this was, the guy who ran the program to hide the priest was the last pope. The fucking Hitler Youth kid that became a cardinal ran the program to hide people so they wouldn't get prosecuted for raping children. Then he became pope. So if you were wondering what the Catholic Church felt about all this, now you know.
It's kind of like the government.
Well, now we're talking about the government, right? Now we're talking about the federal government, not under fucking Obama and Biden, but under Trump, under Bush, under all these motherfuckers, spending millions of dollars a year to traffic children into the United States with no way to track them, no way to make sure they're taken care of. This is one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think I could be any more angry about this for a number of reasons. One, the sovereignty of our country and the safety of our country. What, about 2 weeks ago, we caught a terrorist trying to come across the border with some coyote?
Yep.
Right? That's what it does.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're not going to feel the true effects of this for another few years. I mean, and you think terrorists aren't watching, seeing all this happening? You think that, I mean, what's the drugs that are coming along with these kids? Right? I mean, it's just, it's insane that this is where we're going, that we're going to, look, I'm all about, and I think the one thing that we've said so many times is it's not about telling people they can't come here, right? It's not about keeping people from coming to America, but it's about coming the right fucking way. It's about coming the safe way, because guess what? If we don't keep, it's kind of like the boat analogy. Like, if our boat's not secure and our boat doesn't run and our boat doesn't float, then we can't help anybody, right? If anybody else is sinking on their boats. So, like, if our country's not secure and it's not a safe place to come to, and its economy's not thriving and people aren't here for the right reasons, and we get a bunch of shitty terrorists here and all this, right? Crime goes up. Well, then we're not a place that they can come to. We're not a place that they can come and have a better life at, right? So it's in their best interest, or people who want to come here's best interest, for us to be the strongest country that we can be. And I don't think that this is in any way, shape, or form doing anyone any good in the long term, right? Short term, yeah, they might be getting out of their country and being able to come to a better life. But long term, it's fucking them and us.
Yeah. And this is the ignorance and the complete lack of awareness. And
this is what happens when you have an administration that's only there at a max of 8 fucking years, though.
Right. I mean, that's certainly part of it. But this is when you're so bent on your side being right, like, you think that it is a human right for people to be in America, right, regardless of where they were born. And that's what a lot of people on the left believe. When you believe that so strongly that you're willing to let these children get raped and murdered, taken advantage of, trafficked, so on and so forth.
Or just having to sleep in fucking cages.
Yeah, any of that stuff, but especially the extreme examples. If you're okay with that, and don't tell me you're not, if you're okay with this. If you're okay with NBM and other such fucking contractors picking people up from CBP and this fucking randomly trafficking them throughout the country, if you're okay with that, then you're okay with all the consequences that come along with it, which is rape, fucking trafficking of children, okay? This stuff cannot continue. It just can't.
Bill, what do we think, he asked, what do you feel the government's overall goal in this is of trafficking children this way? So I don't think they have a fucking goal. I think it's just about them being fucking right and them just letting people in. Because honestly, I don't think that because they've said all these things of these promises of, they've gone against a secure border for so long for no fucking reason that now that if they do secure the border, they're worried about having to eat crow on it, right? They're worried about having to come to task. So it has nothing to do with a goal or that hey, anything like that. It's nothing more than them having to say, hey, we were fucking wrong about the border and it needs to be secured. That's all it is. They don't want to say they were fucking wrong. Right, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, at that point, if you make the change that is required to be made, then you're admitting that you were wrong. Not only you're admitting that you were wrong, you're admitting that all those lives that were lost and all those children that were raped and turned out into fucking prostitutes or died in some abject impoverished way, all that is on your fucking hands. Yeah. Right?
So if the goal isn't destruction of the country, then it's a spectacular ignorance. No, I don't think I don't think the goal is to destruct this country. I just think that the Democrats are so willing, are so against them saying, hey, we were wrong about this, or hey, we need to secure the border. They're so they're willing to not be wrong at the expense of the country. Same thing with Trump being president, right? Like the same thing with that. They were so willing to just beat Trump down and say how terrible of a president he was and not work with him at the expense of the country. Like that's the problem with the difference between, that's
well, we've seen this on both sides before, though.
Both sides. I mean,
when Obama got elected, the first thing that Mitch McConnell, he's a turtle, by the way.
Yeah.
You're a turtle. You're a Kentuckian.
I actually call him Uncle Mitch.
Cocaine Mitch is what everybody else calls him.
Uncle Mitch is what I call him.
So when Obama first got elected, Mitch McConnell said that his goal in the Senate was to make sure that Obama was a one-term president.
Yeah.
It's not good for the country. Liz Cheney just said yesterday, after getting booted from all of her committee assignments, that her goal is to make sure Trump is never president again.
Yeah.
Why don't we do some stuff instead of preventing shit that you don't like?
Yeah, but that's all they ever say, right? What they're going to go against, like the battles they're going to pick. Like, why don't you fucking fight for something that's good? Why don't you do something positive? Like, let's hear that.
Yeah. Let's get to some sponsors, and then we'll come back into why I hate everything. First off is something I don't hate. Ghostbed.com/Drinker Bros. It's the only reason I ever get any sleep. They've got the Matrix out now, the 3D Matrix, and it's pretty good. Fuck. I mean, it is. I investigated this further, and it is even better at cooling than the Lux. Yes. Which means now we have to outfit my entire house with these as well.
So that's why you're never gonna have to worry about the 20-year warranty, because they just keep coming out with better shit.
But that's a good. I mean, that's the opposite. So the automobile industry decided, hey, we're not selling enough cars. Let's make shittier cars so they break down faster, and then people have to buy them more, and it almost ended the American car industry. Now, Ghostbed took the opposite approach. They're like, you know what? We're going to make stuff that's so much cooler that people will just buy it. That seems like a better strategy to me.
So much better.
I mean, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Anyways, ghostbed.com/Drinker Bros. You know the deal. You get 30% off everything forever, basically. Get 40% off the fucking adjustable base. You get 36-month pay-as-you-go program. If you put the whole thing together and buy a fucking dope-ass new bedroom suite, you're looking at like $35 to $40 a month.
Yeah.
For 3 years with no interest, no bullshit.
No bullshit. 20-year warranty.
20-year warranty on that bitch. Free pillows with the purchase of the bed. The cooling pillows you get. They have mattress protectors, dope ass sheets. They got everything you need, and they also take care of people.
Yeah, they take care of those who take care of us.
Yeah, they didn't do it when it was cool to do it. They did it way before that, and then they started adding more people when the alleged pandemic happened, and it was a big thing for nurses and first responders, for sure, for a lot of different reasons, not just exposing themselves or anything like that, but I mean, all the hospitals getting flooded, nurses got added to the list, teachers got added to the list because of what they were doing. These people take care of the people that take care of us. Yeah. Next up, speaking of badass, we talked about it earlier, Cardimax.com, use the promo code American, you got to get this immunity booster. You don't want to get sick.
No, you don't want to get COVID. And Listen.
Well, it's not going to, I don't think it'll prevent COVID.
Hey.
Right? But a healthy immune system will mean that you probably won't even notice you have COVID, frankly. So in a way, I suppose it does.
Whatever. Dan can say whatever he wants. I can say what I want. That's the cool part about this podcast. I take the immunity booster to prevent COVID, and I haven't got COVID yet. So what are you going to argue, Dan? That's fucking science.
Correlation, not necessarily causation.
Okay, well,
that's
it's science.
But I have been taking the immune booster for a long time now, ever since it actually came out, and I haven't gotten sick once, not once. Like I haven't even usually I get cedar fever in March, and I didn't even get that.
Me either.
So there's certainly something to it. It's a little tiny 10-pack. Fucking
throw it in some water.
Put it in whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Alcohol, water,
alcohol, anything you want. Tastes great. I like the orange flavor. A lot of people like the watermelon. It's got ginseng in it. It's really good. So flavor's great too, and I think they're going to be coming out with some more flavors here pretty soon. So go. Good. Cardimax is offering American Party exclusive offer. It's BOGO, buy one get one free.
Do you ever snort it?
It's liquid, so no. But I
would snort liquid.
That's too much work.
Why?
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Fucking. How do you carve up a line of liquid?
Like
you'd have to snort it right out of the package.
Yeah. What you do is you cut the tip of it off.
Put a little straw in there.
No, you don't even have to do that. You just stick it in your nose and. I'll show you next time.
I feel like it would just make a mess.
Next show, I'll show you.
All right. I'm fine with that. So go to cardimax.com, use the promo code American, and Cardimax, that's CARDOMAX.com. Use the promo code American. This is Sean Matson. He's one of our buddies. He shaved all of his body hair because he lost a bet with us, so he's a man of honor.
Yeah.
The Navy SEAL. And he's a pretty good-looking dude, too.
Oh, yeah, he's good-looking.
You wouldn't stop talking about it before the show. So go to cardimax.com, use the promo code American, you get a BOGO. Buy one, get one free on your first order. And it is the best stuff. Yep. I am, but there's only one of me, so there's no getting one for free.
I know.
Now, here's the real problem with all this. I mean, all of this is a huge issue. But the biggest problem is that because problems will exist, bad things are going to happen. There are bad actors. There's also bad circumstances which lead to bad actors, and sometimes it's just by mistake people make bad decisions. If our media apparatus, our information apparatus, doesn't function the way it's supposed to, and people aren't putting out information in an unbiased, clear, concise, and digestible way, so that the average American can take that information, process it, decide how it affects their lives, then go to the fucking ballot box and decide who they want to vote for to represent them, then democracy does not exist. Without a fucking free and fair media, democracy is impossible. What you're seeing right now is the complete absence of any freeness or fairness in the media, particularly when it comes to social media.
Does this sound accurate? I'm going to read you this and tell me if this sounds accurate.
Go ahead.
Information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view.
Propaganda. It's the definition for it, right?
So we don't have media anymore.
No, we just have propagandists.
Propaganda. Isn't that the same thing the terrorists use in all the countries we've had to fight in?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've used, to be honest.
But that's
we tried to make the American people believe that people in North Vietnam were coming to get us, man, or that Iraq, they're coming, man. No, they're not. Iraqis are selling fucking bread on the side of the road right now.
They're not coming to get us.
Still, after 20 years of war, they're still doing that. Yeah, it's absolute nonsense. So we don't have a free and fair media. Luckily, and you could say maybe this was born of necessity, or maybe it was just a nice coincidence. The beginning of the creator economy, where there are podcasts and entire media networks. I mean, the Young Turks is a good example. They started out doing pretty good shit when they had Dave Rubin and all those guys. They were putting out a lot of really good shit. Then they went fucking hard left for some reason. Who knows why? Well, I know why. Because it sells more clicks. Right? They went from making a little bit of money doing the right thing to making a lot of money doing the wrong thing. And this is the choice that everybody in media continues to make.
Yes.
And it is murdering our country. I mean, it is just fucking terrible.
But that's because everything's based off of it's not based off principle.
Right. Money.
It's based off money. And what's the one color that drives?
Green is the only color that matters in this country, yeah.
And that drives everything.
So let's talk about the blatant media hypocrisy surrounding this particular issue. This program began in 2014 under Obama. This particular one with MVM, where they grab unaccompanied children at the border from CBP and then just take them to random fucking places. I mean, we've described it. It's not like they were going to fucking the Ronald McDonald House. They were going to abandoned warehouses and offices and shit. Happened during the 2014 immigration crisis. We all remember that. During the Obama administration, children were being escorted by MVM operatives to shelters across the country without any media coverage. Now, apparently, a lot of people in the media knew this was happening. We certainly knew that there was an immigration crisis happening. We knew that new shelters for women and children, particularly those from Guatemala, were being built at the border under the guidance of Hillary Clinton during the Obama administration. We know that all this was happening. Nobody in the media decided to look any further than that.
Well, I think they probably went a little bit further and decided to look away.
That's very likely, yes. Stories about the MVM contract began to circulate during the Trump administration in 2018, primarily focusing on speculation that these were all children that had been separated from their families. So no one gave a fuck about this. Mm-hmm. No one cared that this fucking private company was picking up kids that were trafficked into this country illegally, and then trafficking them further into the country without any kind of court date or any kind of bullshit, no recourse. That was okay.
I just want to know where they're fucking going.
But as soon as it was tied to the Trump administration and that it might be him using this apparatus to separate kids from their families, then it became a fucking issue until they fucking found there was no evidence that any of these children were forcibly separated from their families. And the contracts specifically state that the children being transported are unaccompanied minors.
Yeah, but when I read this, there's one word in there that gives me the, what does forcible mean?
Well, I mean, I would take that in the most literal sense, because it would be leftists searching for that. And if it was in any way forcible and Trump was involved, they would have said so. In response to the claims that this was part of Trump's administration's policy of separating children from their families, American Airlines, Frontier Airlines, United Airlines issued statements refusing to participate.
Yeah, and now they're doing it.
No, they were doing it then. They've been doing it since 2014. So everybody that's wondering, how are these kids getting onto fucking aircraft without proper identification? Here's how. An MVM guy, a guy from MVM, escorts them through their children so they don't need ID, right? Mm-hmm. He's got some kind of documentation saying he's a contractor, whatever the fuck. And then the airlines never check any further. American, Frontier, and United Airlines refuse to participate in the investigation. So it's not just the government. It's not just contractors. It's the airlines. It's politicians. Everybody is involved in trafficking fucking children through this country right now.
Fucking nuts. Now
the program continues under the Biden administration, and no one's saying a goddamn thing about it. So I haven't heard about this from anybody until somebody from CBP told me about it.
So let me ask you this. So let's say we don't go put them somewhere in America. So they come across, a child comes across.
Right.
A child comes across by themselves. They have no family members here. You don't know where they came from. You don't know who their family is over there, right? They came from the way down near Honduras, right?
Started from the bottom.
Now they're in America.
Yeah.
What do you suggest we do with them?
That's a good question.
Right? Like, I mean,
it's a really good question.
What is a more humane way?
Well, let's start by describing the issue. We don't have the ability to take care of the children that are abandoned in our own country.
So
right?
I got you. I got you. I got you. That's why I think the border needs to be secured, and we got to fix our own fucking boat first. But we're past that. We've got kids here right now who have no family members because Biden's elected. Literally, they're here because Biden's fucking elected, and,
right.
and they know the border's not secure, right? We need to secure the border so people stop sending their fucking kids here, right?
Correct.
So, if anything else, that. But I'm asking you, a kid's here gets across the border. What do we do with them?
Well, I mean, I know what we've done with them so far, which is try to take care of them, right? Which is a good thing. But here's the problem. Whatever solution, I mean, we could go through a bulleted list of all the things we needed to do to take care of them, and all those things would probably be right, to be honest.
It goes back to, obviously,
we have to do something to take care of the kids. That's not in question. Here's the problem.
Exactly.
These guys are picking these motherfuckers up and dropping them off randomly through the country without we have no idea what happens to those kids after they're out of our control.
I got you. And
I think that's what you're talking about.
And that's
right?
the point I wanted to make, right? Like I wanted that point to be brought up. If we're not saying fuck these kids, blah blah blah, but what we're saying is that yes, I got the argument from the left. Well, borders and walls aren't going to stop everything. Of course they're not, right? But there'll be enough of a deterrence that we'll be able to manage the situation of the ones that do get across. We won't have this huge influx of a problem that we can't help, right? Like obviously pipes in your house are going to bust in the wintertime. But if you keep your house heated and you keep everything, winterized, it makes it a lot less likely. So it's more manageable of a situation, right? Like the inevitable is there. And that's the same thing with this border problem, that we need to secure the border. We need to put in processes to where people can come over the right way, in a way that will help the country, in a way that will keep them free for their generations on after they come to this country.
Right.
And it'll also keep it to where it's a manageable situation on the border, to where we don't have to just randomly put kids in fucking warehouses. Maybe we can build facilities to where we can manage them and be able to give them a promising future if they did get across it, right? Like, that's the problem that people don't understand is that it's kind of like having no rules, right? Like nobody likes to follow rules, but let's throw all the fucking rules out the door and then a bunch of people get fucking hurt.
Well, I mean, you throw all the rules out the door and you're in Somalia. Like all these people that are fucking anarcho-capitalists that love the idea of like unbridled fucking libertarianism, like good fucking luck, bro. Go to fucking Somalia if you want that shit.
And if anything, we owe it to these children that are coming across, who have this dream of living in the greatest country on the face of the planet, who have this dream of living in a free country. We owe it to them to secure our fucking border so that they have a place to live for generations.
It's like having a fucking water slide, but people get hurt on it. You know what I mean? It doesn't, like, you bear some responsibility for allowing that situation to happen under your watch. Now, I think there should be absolutely some kind of way for people to earn their way into this country. And if you're talking about kids, one, in the meantime, we've got to take care of them. There's no question about that. I don't give a fuck what ethnicity or nationality the child is. It's a child. You take care of it. Doesn't matter how it got here or why. You take care of it. People don't think like that. It's a political pawn. That's all it is to them.
It's a fucking political pawn.
Yeah.
Like, do you think AOC? What do you think she's doing to help these fucking kids on the border? What do you think?
She's not crying about the ban on travel from India right now.
What about fucking Kamala Harris? Where the fuck is she at down there? You got kids. She won't even go visit the fucking border.
No, she won't. Come on, man. We definitely have to take care of these kids. I like the idea, like I was saying, of giving people the opportunity to earn their way to American citizenship. We already have a lot of these pathways, but a lot of people are super critical of the Dreamers stuff. If a kid comes to this country by no fault of their own, by the way, because it's a fucking kid, and wades through all this bullshit, manages to get a college degree and become a productive member of society, you know what? They've earned their fucking right to be here.
Or to serve the country.
Yeah, but that's the easy way.
Yeah.
I mean, not easy, but that's the most common, I guess, way to do that. But yeah, either one of those things. Earn your way in, then that's fine. Go with that. I'm good with that. So if we're
I'd even be about going further. We could do a 1-for-1 swap, like the motherfuckers that go 5 years that don't do shit. We could send them to Mexico. We could do a 1-for-1 swap.
If you're healthy and out of work for 5 years, you're out.
If you're healthy and you've been in jail a ton of times and you're just not a contributing citizen.
Yeah.
You don't pay your child support. Like, we'll fucking do a 1-for-1 swap.
I'm down with that. Or if you're a member of Antifa or a white supremacist group or any of that stupid bullshit. If you're a hate monger of any kind.
Yeah, any kind. Yeah. I mean, what if we had a test in place for all Americans that they had to know the basis of history? They had to know, about the same test. I got it.
The civics test that fucking people have to take to get into this country.
We had the same test, and if you can't fucking pass it, then you get shipped out.
Yeah, I like that.
1-for-1 swap.
RJH, RHJJ, whatever the fuck that means. Child Protection Services is in on this as well. There's no way they're not in on it.
Yeah, they're 100% on it.
To be honest, there's no way that the federal government could do something like this without them, unless they are legit never checking back in on these kids again.
Yeah,
and then imagine that. I mean,
and they're not.
Imagine the adoption or foster care process worked, where you just drop the kid off randomly, you never check in again.
Yeah.
We already know, even with the fucking people checking in on a regular basis, that the rates of children getting sexually assaulted
Well, you
and all sorts of other crimes, abused in general and sexually assaulted, are exponentially higher in foster situations, and that is exactly what we're talking about right here.
And yeah, you know,
we're talking about a foster situation that's even worse than the American foster situation, and that's what we're doing. We're just dropping these kids off to fend for themselves.
Yeah.
And you think that makes you fucking some moral crusader?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think you're some kind of humanitarian because you're letting these kids come across the fucking border and then get thrown in the fucking garbage to fend for themselves, and you think you're a good fucking person. Fuck you.
Yeah, you're garbage.
Absolute fucking
Special
garbage.
Place. Special fucking place.
Yeah, it's too bad there's not a fucking hell for these cunts to go to be honest. That'd be a great fucking day for me. Maybe they'll die and get reincarnated as somebody that gives a fuck about people. Because right now it is clear that they do not. All right, let's take some questions from the audience. Problem, I think, is all the kids loyal, there's more love towards Mexico. I don't give a fuck where their loyalty is. Loyalty shouldn't be necessarily to. I mean, if we get in a war with Mexico, sure.
I mean, but who gives a
why are we worried about loyalty to anything like that? Let's be loyal to being a good fucking person.
Americans aren't even fucking loyal to America.
No. Why don't we be loyal to principles and not people, and not geography and shit like that? The principle that you should be a good fucking person and take care of the people around you, that's what builds a community. It's not a piece of paper that draws a fucking border around a fucking area of geography. That's not what it is.
And you know that's what's happening. These kids are going, like, if they don't find somewhere, they're going into fucking foster home.
No, they're going into the streets, my man. They're going into gangs and they're going into fucking sex trafficking. And in the best case scenario is in the foster homes.
They're going to go, and guess what?
That's the best case scenario.
And people are going to be making fucking money off this. How do we hold people charged accountable? Fuck, no clue. No fucking clue anymore.
Where is that one at? I see.
Bradley. I don't know.
Yeah, Yandel, we can't hold people accountable for anything if, one, no one knows that it's a problem.
But I think,
and two, that half of the country doesn't think that it's a problem after they see the information.
But here's what I think is a fucking huge problem, is our states could do something about this. Mm-hmm. They stand up against the federal government all the fucking time.
Yeah, this is something that fucking Abbott needs to get on right now.
That is the
he needs to shut
part.
These down. He needs to fucking pass a law and put fucking sheriffs and state police inside of airports, and when they see these fucking people, they arrest them because this shit's illegal. Fuck this shit.
Yeah,
and it's too bad it's not happening in Florida, because DeSantis probably already would have done something about this.
Jacob, what country? I've said this. I don't know. I think I've said this to you, but what country do I think is a bigger threat? Is fucking Mexico.
I think America is a bigger threat to itself than any of these countries.
But if we're going to look at one around us, Mexico for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Mexico could help a little bit. Although the tide's turning with Mexico because they're getting so inundated by Guatemalan and Nicaraguan people, they're starting to suffer the same shit that we do. And now they're going to have to do something about it. It's unfortunate it took that long. Let's see. Do I have a plan to get this information out to the masses aside from the podcast?
We're doing it right here.
I mean, I don't know what else I could do. It's people in the news media won't talk about this, so they're certainly not going to have me on their show to talk about it. It's just not how it works, man.
You know what we should do? I got a great idea. I'm going to apply to go work for that.
Yeah, you should. You've got the background for it.
Apply to go work for it. And then expose the whole system.
Just tell them you learned Spanish on Babbel.
Yeah.
Babbel.com. Use the promo code American for 3 months free. Yeah, that would be good. Try to get a job. I mean, they probably won't notice you, right? Unless they're big Teen Mom fans. Nailed it. Anybody? Just look at his fucking face. Look at it. You're all welcome to that.
I'll see you in hell.
Wait, we got fucking a couple more minutes here.
Dude, I am so tired of your Teen Mom jokes.
Well, you know.
You know?
I'll have to come up with some new ones then. How do we hold the government and media accountable? Well, the first thing is you have to really learn these issues. You have to learn them enough where you can fucking speak on them and defend it to people who are going to try to fucking throw all this misinformation in your face. So having conversations with people and understanding how they try to rebut this information is important. You can't just fucking learn it and then go out on the street and start being a preacher and start proselytizing people. You have to really know this stuff inside and out. That's step one. Step two is you have to have those conversations on a regular basis. You have to challenge other people on their beliefs, whether they're your family, friends, strangers, whomever it is, right? But don't be a dick about it, because they're not going to listen. They're not going to listen if you come up to them like, you're complicit in human trafficking. No. But like, hey, because of this situation, this, and this has happened. Now explain to me how you can support that situation. You give them the ability to say, I didn't know that, and now I'm going to stop. That's how you stop it. The people are the only thing that can ever stop government, right? That's why we have words and guns to do that with. That's why the founders of this country wrote it that way. So, you know, what are you going to do? That's it. Fucking have conversations, talk to people.
Yeah, I mean,
and you challenge the people in power. So it looks like we're probably going to have to start harassing Governor Abbott until he does something about this.
Let's do it.
Frankly. So I'm thinking maybe we can put together some kind of rally here downtown. I live about 3 minutes from the Texas State Capitol here in Austin. We can go down there and have this discussion in person sometime.
Let's go.
We'll have to plan that. Do we think it's going to take violent action to fix the problems in the country? I don't think violence can fix the problems.
Yeah.
Not in any kind of... Here, the problem is, if there's a blockage somewhere and you smash it to pieces, you still got to fill the hole afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. Power vacuum. That's why they call it a power vacuum. What new government do we have? What new people that we can trust to run this place would we put in power then? Of all these fucking right-wing pundits?
Yeah, because I mean,
they want Trump back or what? Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, because that's the thing that we've messed up in so many countries.
So many countries.
We're
still dealing with the fallout from killing Saddam Hussein. Yes. Still, to this day, we're dealing with that fallout.
Yeah.
So what makes you think we can do it here?
Yeah, no shit.
You know what I mean? Stop listening to the media. That's the other one.
Big one.
That's the other one. All right, we're going to get out of here. Please give your thoughts in the comments, like and share this. You're asking about what we can do. The best thing you can do right now, because nobody knows about MS or MVM and what they're doing here and what the government's allowing and the Catholic Church's fucking influence over it, and the Biden and Obama administrations of what they've done. You got to tell them. The only way you can tell them is to take this information and send it out, people. All right? Fucking screen capture this shit, or wait until we have clips out, or share the entire episode, whatever you can do to get people to start paying the fuck attention, because our national sovereignty is at risk and children are getting fucking raped. I don't see how you need any more motivation than that to start talking about this with everybody you fucking see. And with that, we'll see you in hell.